How are we doing, guys? Welcome back to another Path of Diablo 2 video. Today I'm going to be showcasing my fire trap sin. As always, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of gameplay first, and then I'm going to go over the stats, skills, and abilities, and gear. Show you guys what this build can do, what it's best used for, early ladder, and then how you can migrate it into a different build going forward. I also want a quick shout out. Thank you guys for hitting that subscribe button. If you haven't, please do so. It helps me out a ton. But we finally hit 100 subs. I made a joke in the last video saying we wouldn't get there till 2050. Well, it arrived a little bit early, but moving on to the next goal, I guess, of 1,000. With that being said, we'll hop right into it. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of gameplay on this character here. This character is best used for cowing. And like I said, it's going to be a pure fire trap assassin guide. So we're going to pop down some traps. First thing you're going to want to do is pre-buff your burst of speed here. And then that's literally it. Sit back and lay traps and watch stuff die. I will also mention, if you already know what this build is and just want the guide, I will leave timestamps in the description below. Go ahead and you feel free to skip through the video, okay? So we're just going to pop down 5 traps at a time and just kind of watch everything die. Some people like to put them all in one spot. I kind of just spread them out a little bit. I don't really necessarily want them all attacking the same cow. Kind of want it spread out a little bit, kind of like that, get some overlap. And doing cows is great, especially early ladder. I've been playing for a couple hours today, and I've already found 2 high runes. I found a Sir and a Ohm, I believe. No, Sir and a Cham. Sir and a Cham earlier. And that currency is definitely useful for building new characters, building this character even. I invested them both into more gear for this character to make him clear a little bit stronger, clear a little bit faster, make him a little bit stronger. But yeah, this build's super easy to play, super laid back, don't gotta do a whole lot of thinking. You're just gonna kind of cast your traps, check your map, and pick up your loot. Pop 5 traps down and watch stuff die, pick up your charms. I have like 12 angelic rings, so I don't need that. I like to have move only on my left click. You can also do fire blast. You can see it does quite a bit of damage. I don't think it's quite necessary for me. It might make your clear speed a little bit quicker, but I think it's a little bit overkill in my opinion. You can pop your 5 traps down, watch it die, nothing, move on. This timer isn't accurate. I've been in the game for a few minutes before his, but it's about a 6-7 minute cow clear. Not too terrible. I will say the one downside with this build is that it is only fire. As far as dealing with immunities, we do run also Death Sentry. Good, it's okay, I guess, but if you run into a fire physical immune, you're not going to be able to kill it. You're just going to skip it, unfortunately. As the corpse explosion does physical damage, you will not be able to kill it. And we're going to have Cow King right here somewhere. Now with the bosses, we can actually use Wake of Inferno. You can see it does about 10k a second. It's kind of insane. There he is. Watch him melt. As my traps focus up a little bit here. Conviction doesn't help my fire res. Negative 99 fire res. Try not to get hit. There he goes down. We got a rage guard. No one cares. Then we'll go back to our AoE ability in Wake of Fire. Yeah, the only time you're going to be really using this is for bosses or champions with high life pools. The only time you're going to use this is for Death Sentry, is going to be for immunes. Yeah, cows is a great way to find runes, find tons of P-gems, like that skull. Good drops in here too. I found a couple good drops today. I found a Duriel's shell, I found a shaft stop that I forgot to up before I slammed, so it got 3 sockets instead of 4. That kind of sucks. But you have all these clickables too that always drop stuff. The great thing about cows is, even though I've got really bad fire res because my gear isn't quite optimal yet, there isn't a whole lot of elemental cows. So you just kind of stay back. They're slow, they're stupid. And you'll click your chests and wait for stuff to die. Great. Just kind of keep casting, keep moving along. Here's the topaz. I like to collect the gems for re-rolling skillers. Re-rolling ball GCs, bailed GCs, however you want to say it. I didn't really look what time I started this, otherwise I could have tracked exactly how long it takes. I think it's about 5 or 6 minutes. It's not the fastest cow clear. Obviously that'd be the Javazon. But it does pretty good. I don't have a ton of currency invested in this build either. It's pretty low budget. A lot of the currency that I've actually made from this build, I just invested it back into it. So, but I spec'd it as this build and ran all the way through normal, nightmare, and stayed this build the whole time. It didn't have any issues. You don't really have any issues running Pure Fire until you get to Hell, which I had some help in Act 3 and Act 4. But other than that, it's not too shabby. You do more than enough damage. If you run with another player, you can get past the fire immunes. You guys also notice I'm not running a mercenary right now. I never run a mercenary in cows. I do have one. Fairly kitted out as well, but it's a waste of time. The cows hit too hard. Typically they can't stay alive, and it's not worth it in my opinion. I got my mercenary wearing a Fort and Obedience and a Tau Mask. Still just gets destroyed in here. And he messes up your grouping of the cows as well. That's basically a full clear on this cow map here. We'll hit our rocks. I think we started at 9 minutes. That's only about 4 or 5 minutes. That's, like I said, that's not too terrible. For not a ton of gear invested in this. We'll kill these last couple cows and we'll hop into town. So always hit the chests in here. I know it may seem like they never drop anything, but I have got high runes out of them before, so definitely worth clicking them. We'll identify our stuff here. We didn't get anything good this run, but like I said, cows, in my opinion, is the best way to get high runes in the game. Bunch of junk. Okay, so we'll start off first with our skills. Skills are going to be fairly straightforward as it's a pure fire build for the most part. And as you're leveling, you're going to pump all of your beginning skills into Fire Blast until you hit level 12. At level 12, you're going to max Wake of Fire. And like I said, I respec'd once, but I didn't even have to respec, to be honest. You can level this build straight through without having any issues. So you're going to put 12 points into here starting out, level 1 to 12. Max out Wake of Fire, max out Wake of Inferno, and then I went back and maxed out Fire Blast. So it's going to be max, 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 and I'll put all this on the screen for you. Max those 3 abilities there, and then we're going to put 1 point into Shockweb, 1 point into Charge Bolt Sentry, 1 point into Lightning Sentry, and then we're going to dump all of our remaining points into Death Sentry. That's going to be our full trap tree, so you can see I'm still dumping points into this. This is not maxed out yet. That's going to be our trap page. Shadow Disciplines. The only points we're going to put into here is the prerequisite of Claw Mastery, and then Burst of Speed. I think you're going to want to get to, it's like level 13. You can see I have way more than that because I put 13 points and then added better gear and stuff. So I think you're going to want to be at about 13 points before your gear. So I'm at like 16 base with just 1 point. So I could probably just put 1 point into Burst of Speed and be at 16 points there. It'd be a little bit less than that because I do have some trap GCs. Yeah, so get that to like 13. This is going to be your movement ability. And it's also going to give you attack speed as well, which is what we are using to lay our traps. It is attack speed, not faster cast rate. You are laying the traps, not casting the traps. And then in martial arts, the only thing we have in here is going to be Dragon Flight. I don't know that it's even super necessary. You guys saw I didn't use it once. I did put a point into it, but for this specific cow build, not really necessary. I also run, on a typical run, I also run Pindle and Shenk as well, both easy, and then I run cows. So you have a little bit of versatility. in this build. But yeah, that's basically going to be it. So max, 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 all your prerequisites, 13 points into burst of speed, 1 point into dragonflight, and that's going to be basically it for skills. So super simple. Anything remaining after that you have left over here, you can see in 5 more levels, which will put me at 87. Death Sentry will be maxed. After that, I'm just going to start putting stuff into Lightning Sentry just to bump the damage of this guy up a little bit. You can see like the Lightning Sentry already does more damage than Death Sentry at level 16, and this does at 31. But you're mainly using Death Sentry for the corpse explosion. So if you end up getting a fire immune, we didn't get a fire immune cow. You're going to kill all of his as many cows around him as you can, and then just kite him through the dead bodies. And the Death Sentry will blow up all those. So I'll see if I can show you guys something like that a little bit later on. I'll do Pindle and Shenk for you guys later. As far as stats go, we're going to need a 156 total strength. That's going to be to use our Spirit Shield Monarch. Dexterity, you don't really need anything. I think you need like what 35 for this. You should have this stuff. But just enough dexterity for the gear. I only put a couple points in it, and then everything else is going to go into vitality. You can see we got 1,303 life, plenty of life, and you can see my resistances. I wouldn't recommend making one gear change, which I'll go over in a second, just to fix that negative fire resistance. But if you're only running cows, not an issue. Like I said, just don't get hit. But if you're running Pindle Shenk, some of those guys can get fire abilities like the fire archers or the little imps that throw fireballs at you. So there is a way to resolve that, and I'll tell you how. I just haven't got it yet. Alright, starting with gear. So I'll kind of go over a couple different options. I'll go over early game gear, and I'll go over end game gear, what I'm using now, my opinions. And we'll start off with the helmet. You guys can see I'm using a Harlequin Quest Shaco. Mine is clean right now. I need to slam it. I just don't have the balls at the moment. So you guys got some hook there. I need to slam this, try to get 2 sockets in it. But I'm not going to do that just quite yet. One of these days. I started out using a Peasant Crown. You can also use a Lore for early game. The other best in slot would be like if you find a trap circlet, like a 3 to trap circlet or something like that, or a 2 to sin circlet. You could also use that to be a good, easy, cheap helmet for you. Next, we'll go over to the chest. I'm using a Treachery, and I use this for the +2 assassin skills. It also gives you 45% increased attack speed, which are both really great for us. 30 cold res. The only thing that's annoying about using this is that if you get hit, you see we got a 5% chance to fade, which is why most people use this armor. But on an assassin, you don't want the fade. You want the burst of speed. So if you get hit and the armor procs fade, it cancels your burst of speed. Not useful. So that's the only kind of thing that's kind of annoying about it. So just keep an eye on that. If you find yourself you're walking really slow, you probably procced your fade and you need to recast burst of speed. Best in slot would probably be Chains of Honor or Enigma. In my opinion, you're just running cows. That's going to be overkill with this specific fire only build. Go with Treachery. Cost you a lem. Beautiful. Belt, Arak. This is kind of expensive. Cost me a high rune to get it. That's what I spent my Sir rune on earlier today. It's kind of the only belt that really benefits this class at all. Before today, I was actually using this gold wrap for the attack speed and the magic find. And a little bit extra gold is great too. But you can use any belt. If you don't have an Arak, any belt doesn't matter. It's not doing you any favors. Maybe a resistance belt or something for that fire res. Boots. This is actually the one spot that would actually change. I'm running Natalia's for the faster run walk. I really should be running Eldur's boots. The Eldur's boots gives you a ton of fire res to help mitigate this. You could also use like laying of hands here. So if I pop my laying of hands on here, that would help me out. But yeah, other boots that you could use is Travs, Nats, Eldur's, Water Walks, Treks, you know, all the normal boots. Gloves, like I said, I'm using a Mage Fist, CNC, I believe here, unless that's 10 defense, it might be 10 defense, I don't know. CNC Mage Fist, it's going to give you that 1 to fire skills. FCR is useless for you, unless you're using an Enigma. One to fire skills. Like I said, also you could possibly use the laying of hands for the attack speed and the 50 all res, 250 damage to demons, stuff like that. Amulet. I'm currently running with High Lords. I've been gambling. I've gambled I don't know how much gold trying to find a +3 to trap amulet. I had one that I tried to put a +1 to all skill on it, and I bricked it with the Orb of Corruption. But yeah, +3 trap amulet. High Lord, you can use Maras. Any of those should be fine. My rings. Currently I'm using a Nigel and a Mantled. Both of these don't really do a whole lot for me. This is a plus skill build, which means you're just trying to put as many plus all skills as possible to get the damage of your traps up. The cheaper option would be running BKs or a Soj. Soj are going to be a lot more expensive. I'd recommend BK. Even BKs are still about 100 apiece though, so I kind of prioritize different things. But that would be my next two upgrades. I need 2 BK rings or BK and a Soj. Some people use Ravenfrost for the no freeze. That'd be cool too. Weapons, you guessed it, Hodo. +3 all skills. FCR is useless. Gives you a good chunk of all res though, which is real nice. Spirit Shield. Already showed you guys this. Spirit Shield. Best in slot. +2 to all skills and resistances is great. And that's basically it for the gear. On the swap, literally nothing. Other weapons you could possibly use if you don't want to go Hodo and Spirit. I started out with Spirit. If you don't have that, what you need to do is go to Act 5 to Anya in Hell, and you can actually shop +3 or actually +6 in each trap clause. So it'd be +3 to traps, +3 to Wake of Fire or Wake of Inferno. And you can get 2 of those. You could actually get like a total of, I believe it's like +5 or +6 in each hand. So that's pretty insane. I'm just using this. It was a worthwhile investment for me because I'm going to be able to use this Hodo on other characters as well once I get bored with this class. But honestly, I'm having a ton of fun right now playing this build. In the inventory, the other biggest investment that you're going to want to do is going to be these trap skillers. I only have 4 right now. But these really bump your damage up. Once you're above like level 30, the damage starts really jumping up. I've also got an all res 15 GC and a Geeds 37 Geeds. Rest of the stuff in here is just kind of all random resistance, lifers, an FHR charm, magic find charm, all that good stuff. Ideally, res lifers and then all trap GCs. And then as always, I like my Geeds on me. You could also do a 9th trap GC if you really wanted to. But yeah, that's basically it. Torch Annie, stuff like that. Also, great. Expensive, don't have them.
Yes.
Like I said, I've got my Mercenary. I don't really use him. He's wearing a fort, which I actually made for a different character. I just wanted to get rid of the low, so I don't accidentally lose it or sell it or have the urge to trade it. So I built my fort here in a Dust Shroud. He's rocking a tail mask, and he's actually using an insight at the moment. As you guys saw in cows, I don't really need mana. I don't use mana. Probably just because my mantled here regen mana, and then also this regen mana. So with those 2 items, you don't need the insight. Obedience would probably be a lot better. Reaper's Toll if you got a Reaper's Toll. But yeah, that's basically it. That's the guide, guys. Alright, and then just to wrap up the video, I'll show you guys Shenk, Eldrick, and Pindle. Usually this guy up here, he can actually be fire and cold immune at the same time, which is why he's terrible for Sorceress. So I'll kind of show, and he's not this time, of course he's not. And we're going to get lots of fire immunes. Lots and lots of fire immunes. But yeah, you just run down here, pop your traps. These guys all die pretty quick. These guys are always cold immune. And Shenk just gets absolutely obliterated, and that's it. So that'd be my normal run. I run Shenk, Eldrick, Pindle, which is over here. And Pindle can drop some really good stuff in this game too, so I always think he's worth doing it. I actually like to do Wake of Inferno when I kill Pindle just to really knock him out. These guys are always super tight and contained. He's not going to Demon Head. Then I come down here and teleport out so I don't get ambushed. Yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I know this one's a little bit quicker, but it's a quick, easy build. Not a whole lot of currency. Like I said, you don't really need all this high-end gear to kill him. Start off with a peasant or a lore. Start off with a spirit shield and a spirit sword. And everything else, just kind of add it in. Mage fists are super easy. Treachery is a great investment early. Just one lem rune. And then when you're done with it, you can always put it on a mercenary on another character. The Fade is great for mercenaries. It really helps keep them alive. That's going to be it for this guide, guys. If you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. Like I said, we just broke 100 subs, and I was super excited over the weekend when we finally did it. Next goal is 1,000, so we got quite a little ways to go to that one. So make sure to hit that sub button if you're liking these guides. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.
On my way through the night, please give me some more time.